What is going on, guys? This is Tony from TandATV1 bringing you the GBA Week 2 battle against the New Orleans Pelippers. Along with me, as always, is the coach of the Mighty Duckletts, Adam.
Hello, hello.
So this was the Week 2 battle. If you didn't see the Duckletts Week 1 battle, we have that battle on the channel, so go check that one out. This Week 2 battle was against John, owner of the New Orleans Pelippers, and John finished last season, I believe, second in the league. So a very strong team. And Adam, why don't you go ahead and talk about some of his threats?
So he, in the draft, he kind of just added to his team and just the dynamic and just versatility that he had all around on his team. And the team that he brought against me was really something that, for the most part, in our discussions, we predicted. Other than this Deoxys D that he had, which actually proved to be really difficult to take down. I figured with me having Chandelure that it wasn't going to be something that he brought. Like, I think actually I wrote down on my notes, like, that was the first thing that I crossed off was, no, he's not going to bring that. So that was something that was difficult. I knew that he was going to bring Mega Sableye because we have no strong fairy stab to take it down. And the remaining parts of his team, I knew Goodra was coming because it just has a crazy amount of different moves that it can hit hard with, and the other ones have all strong priority to take care of my slow-ass team. So it was a very formidable team, especially when you kind of match his up against ours. You see a lot of OU, potentially Uber threats going on over there, and then you look at our team and we have a Vileplume and a Drapion. So I'll let you talk about ours real quick that we kind of talked about. So I'll let you start with that.
Yeah, so Vileplume and Drapion are coming to this battle, so they are not OU threats, but I think they actually did pretty well in this battle, and you'll see that. He really doesn't have a great answer for Drapion, which is why I think it was a good bring. Vileplume also does pretty well against the majority of his team, barring Talonflame, which is a huge threat, and the Duckletts don't really have much to stop a Talonflame, to be honest. It's just a very strong, powerful Pokemon. So it's going to be a problem throughout this battle. Other than that, Gastrodon is coming. John doesn't have... he has Breloom, but Breloom wasn't really a good matchup for him in this battle. So I think Gastrodon was a pretty good bring. Mega Aggron is coming again. Mega Aggron is so bulky and tough to take down, and it pretty much guarantees that Stealth Rocks are coming up on the field at least at some point. I have to watch out for Mega Sableye with the Magic Bounce, but with that out of the way, then Rocks can go up. And then along with those four, Thundurus, I, and Azelf are coming again. Those are just kind of the two offensive threats of the Duckletts team. And so that's probably going to be a common theme as you see going along week by week. Those two will probably be coming the vast majority of the time just to put pressure on the opposing teams. So I think at this point we can go ahead and get the battle started.
Yeah, so I think I kind of predicted him to lead with Mega Sableye because it's an easy, free setup for him. He can get that Prankster Will-O-Wisp or Prankster Calm Mind or whatever he wants to do. So I just kind of led with my fastest momentum on that I had and just kind of went for Volt Switch and hope for the best. We'll see here that we actually get a little bit of luck, the Duckletts and I. He goes for the Prankster Will-O-Wisp and misses. Think to myself, okay, this is a good sign for this battle. If he's gonna miss on the first turn, I'm feeling pretty good then.
Yeah, it's a good start. I don't think the Will-O-Wisp mattered too much throughout the course of the battle. It would have been a little bit of damage, but I don't think it mattered too much. Now here, he goes for Sucker Punch on his elf. That was surprising.
Yeah, I really didn't expect that. Again, the first week he brought Calm Mind Sableye, so I really wasn't thinking very much for the physical, but I knew that I had Dazzling Gleam, and I really thought I was going to do enough to take him out, but clearly it didn't. I predicted him to Sucker Punch again. That's why I went back into Thundurus. And I knew that Thundurus, this one has enough speed or HP investment to make him at least a little bit bulkier. So then I just go for the Volt Switch. It would kill him, and if he wanted to save it, it would give us a little bit of momentum. He brings in his Goodra, which is just too bulky. It's just the thing is just you can't kill it.
The Duckletts don't really have much for a Goodra. That's just kind of how it is. But here's the Drapion comes in trying to knock off probably the Assault Vest on Goodra. He switches into his Conkeldurr and takes a lot of damage from that critical hit knockoff, which was good for the Duckletts.
Yeah, put me in a good position. Unfortunately, I can't really stay in here because I know I can't kill with a poison jab at this point. I really was hoping that he'd go for a Drain Punch and not something like an Ice Punch predicting the Vileplume to come in. Luckily enough, he didn't do that. And at this point, I was really predicting him to bring in Goodra, because if I go for any grass move, I'm sure he has Sap Sipper, gets the +1, no damage to him, and a free switch in. So I went for the Moonblast. Unfortunately, he makes the predicting me to predict him and brings in the Deoxys D, which takes really nothing from this Moonblast. Like I said, it was going to be a big problem to take down because I really didn't expect him to bring it. If I had went for a Sleep Powder there, I would have been in a better position, but unfortunately I did not.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is, at that point you weren't really sure if it was a physical or special Goodra, since Goodra can run both ways.
Right.
And so had it been a fully physical Goodra with that +1, it would have been really a lot of trouble for the Duckletts there.
Yeah, this is where I almost wish that I had Swords Dance on this Drapion, because I could have potentially started to do a lot of damage. But as you can see here, a stab knockoff from invested, but no boost Drapion does a gratuitous amount to this Deoxys D, which I heard from John is actually EV to take out Mega Aggron. So I know it's physically defensive. So that's a lot of damage going on
pretty
against
impressive,
him.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you do get the Toxic Spikes up, which can help wear down his team, and there you go for the Poison Jab.
I kind of predicted him to try and bring in something on the knockoff that could take it and kind of attack me back, like Conkeldurr or potentially a Azumarill. But he was smart enough just to kind of let me kill myself here. If I had went for two knockoffs as opposed to a Poison Jab and knockoff, maybe I could have killed him. I'm not sure about the damage roll there. I didn't really look at it too terribly hard, but that probably would have been the better play to go for. But I see this as a free switch in to get my Mega off, and going for the Stealth Rocks is way too obvious, and he still has his Mega Sableye alive. So I get my Mega off, and I go for a Dragon Tail in case he wants to stay in. Maybe, I'm not sure. I just go ahead and go for a Dragon Tail here, which luckily enough kills and connects and kills the Mega Sableye. So that's always good.
Yeah, that was a pretty big play, because once Sableye is dead, then you are able to just get rocks up whenever you want from that point on, and he has no way to stop that.
Which means his Talonflame is automatically coming in at half HP. He brings in Goodra. This is obviously a clear signal to me that he has Fire Blast. Now, he could have been a Lord and predicted me to predict him to go for Fire Blast and go for the Power Whip here, but he did not, luckily enough. And this is where I feel like I kind of played, I'm not going to say I played, I kind of did have my good prediction game going on. I saw he had Fire Blast. I knew that he had to have Power Whip. It just screamed as soon as I saw Goodra that he has to have Power Whip. So I go for the Protect here to get my leftovers, to wear him down with Poison a little bit more, and to scout really for the Power Whip. And now it's a painfully obvious thing for me to switch into either Vileplume or Aggron on the Power Whip. So I stay in just to get a little bit more chip damage going on. Unfortunately, for my good prediction, I was rewarded with a 10% burn from Fire Blast onto my poor little. I almost said Goodra. No, you're not a Goodra. What are you right now?
Gastrodon.
Yeah,
Gastrodon.
That whole
thing.
thing.
Actually, it's Maddie.
That whole thing over there. So unfortunately, I was rewarded with a burn. It would have been really nice to be back up at full HP and not be in here. I predicted him to predict that my Protect was super obvious, so I went for a Scald again to kind of catch whatever was coming in, maybe a Talonflame, maybe a Azumarill, something potentially on the maybe a Conkeldurr, something on the switch. Unfortunately, that something on the switch is Deoxys D, which again proves to be a giant problem because it has reliable recovery and
Yeah, that was a very good switch by John there. He made a very safe play. He could have gone with a more aggressive play into Talonflame or Azumarill, but by not doing that, he sets himself up really well because Deoxys will just take nothing from that Scald, and then now can recover up for free. And you can't really do anything to stop it, unfortunately.
And like I said, after the match, I found out that this Deoxys D is actually specifically made to take on my Mega Aggron. So I wanted to potentially get my rocks up, but I thought maybe he'd try and switch in Talonflame on my predicted rocks, so I just went for the Shuffle Dragon Tail here. And unfortunately, a repeating thing for me in Dragon Tail is that it does not put me into the correct thing that I want it to, which unfortunately is now a Guts boosted Conkeldurr on my Mega Aggron.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So that's the one bad thing that happened from Toxic Spikes going up. It's kind of a trade-off there. So you know that Conkeldurr will get an attack boost, but you also know that you can wear down some things like Goodra and Deoxys defense with those Toxic Spikes. So definitely a trade-off there. And that Drain Punch does a lot to a fully physically defensive Vileplume.
It's such a monster.
Yeah, it's just too strong, really. But here, John's going to make the smart play and switch out and save that Conkeldurr for later, because it obviously has a priority on it too. And he goes into here now. He goes into his Talonflame.
Yeah, that's the more offensive switch here. He saw that I can't really do much. I keep going for the Moonblast to try and catch something on the switch, and that was the more offensive switch. I couldn't. I had to stay in here because if he set up a Swords Dance, I wasn't going to have a good time. So I had to stay in and potentially go for the Sleep Powder. Luckily, I get the Effect Spore. Unluckily, it's not Sleep on him. That would have been so nice.
Yeah, that really could change the outcome of the battle had it been Sleep or Paralysis. But it definitely helped wear down this Talonflame, though, that's for sure. Because you'll see after this couple turns that Talonflame won't be able to stay around much longer.
Right. So I take this opportunity because I know he can't kill me with anything. Unless he was boosted to +2, he might have been able to kill me. Probably would have been able to kill me. But I know outside of that, he can't kill me. So I just take this opportunity to get my Stealth Rocks up to hopefully in the later battle, my late game rocks will help me wear down things with the poison and the rocks will hopefully let me take something else out that maybe shouldn't have died. So again, I die, and I was really nervous that he wasn't going to die to the poison damage here. Luckily enough, he does.
Was very close, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think this series of play right here really kind of determined the outcome of the battle.
Right.
His decision to go into Azumarill here really kind of handcuffed you.
Yeah, I didn't predict him to bring Azumarill in. At this point in the game, I really thought he might have tried to save that little late game, and I thought that I could have gotten some good damage off on somebody with a Zelf. Unfortunately, after I came into the rocks, I knew I couldn't switch into the rocks again, so I had to let a Zelf go down to the Aqua Jet.
Right, so now you're able to go into Thundurus, and that really threatens him, but he obviously has Aqua Jet, he's an Azumarill. That does a lot of damage, too.
Yeah.
That's
for
way too much.
Unboosted, no choice band, it does a gratuitous amount, and I really wish it would have done just a little bit less, and maybe I could have survived the Mach Punch, but again, this is a Guts boosted Conkeldurr, and it's going to come through and destroy me, unfortunately. At this point, I think all I have left now is Gastrodon, and my play here is, okay, I'm not going to let him 3-0 me. I have to at least make this a 2-0, and with that, I do have one ace up my sleeve. He goes for the Drain Punch, thinking that he could potentially just, get his HP back, and I can't do anything to him. Unfortunately for him, I do, in fact, carry the counter, which destroys his face.
That's right.
At least
Conkeldurr doesn't end that battle well. He goes down.
At least I ended up with the 2-0 as opposed to the 3-0. I mean, again, he hasn't killed me yet, but I know that the worst that it could be is 2-0. I'm really hoping that maybe I can survive a Dragon Pulse, or he'll miss a Power Whip and I can recover up here. Unfortunately, I cannot. So that's the way that the cookie crumbles. That's the way that the match ends. Is a 2-0 against him. It was a great game. He brought a lot of priority he planned specifically very much for my team. He kind of said in his week 1 battle that he refuses to lose the week 2, and he came out and proved that if he puts his mind to it, he can just go ahead and destroy his opponent. So I think it was a really good battle.
Yeah, he's got a great team. He plans very well. He has a ton of priority, which, his team is actually not that quick, but it really doesn't matter because of all the priority that he has. And he has a very strong priority, and it's just a very solid, well-built team, and a lot of teams are going to have trouble with that. He's definitely one of the favorites going forward in the Johto Conference. So this dropped the Duckletts to 1-1, but that's okay because the Duckletts at this point are still on top in their division, tied for first at 1-1. Mm-hmm. So as long as Duckletts keep winning moving forward, you'll be fine.
It's true. If I keep winning and going forward, I will, if not win the division, I will at least be putting myself in a very good position to get the wild card as it stands right now. So we'll see.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Adam, your next battle was against Dan, aka A-Drive. So initial thoughts on that one?
He was another expansion team, and as a lot of people will be quick to point out, his expansion team draft was a lot more solid and full of power as opposed to the other 3. He ended up with a lot of OU Pokemon like Latios, Mega Charizard Y, Garchomp, Espeon. He had a lot of power. Blissey. So it's going to be a very difficult and uphill battle to get through him. I have a lot of my work cut out for me to win that one.
All right, guys. So hope you enjoyed this battle. Tune in soon because that Week 3 battle will be going up in just a matter of a few days. So if you liked or like this video or have any questions, please give us a like, shoot us a comment down below, and Adam Wright will be happy to respond. So until next time, guys, peace.